Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's get down to business here. Let's do this. All right. There you go. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Hello, people. Good morning. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Hope your health and strength is good this morning. What? Now, to you Steam Deck fans, what's up with it? Steam Deck Tribe, Steam Deck Nation, Steam Deck Universe, Steam Deck World, Steam Deck Legion, what's good? Steam Deck Mob, what's up? And the Steam Deck Squad, what's up with it? Sitting here messing with y'all. Alright, let's get down to business here. Alright, what we talking about this morning? I saw this article last night. I was up about 12 o'clock last night, searching through the web, and we're talking about this Marvel versus DC fighting game here. Found this on Tweaktown. What's up, Tweaktown? Look, it says here, when I think of the whole WB game situation, when AT&T was trying to sell them for $5 billion. To me, it looked like a publicity stunt they were doing, but they teamed up with Discovery, and now WB Games is not for sale anymore. With Nether Realms and with Rocksteady, they were included in that package, and you know, Microsoft probably approached them. It didn't work. Sony probably tried it, and Discovery bought them now. So bought the deal. So now WB Games, Rocksteady, and NetherRealms, they're all in good. They're doing good right now. Rocksteady went dark, but I get it because they're working on Suicide Squad Killer Justice League. WB Games now, Gotham Knights comes out on the 25th of October, or probably the 20th. And then NetherRealms now, they're working on some type of fighting game. Mortal Kombat, whatever. But a Marvel versus DC is overdue. You know, it's overdue. It's been overdue. It needs to happen. Can't talk about it no more. But I just found this article last night when I was on the computer. It says here, gamers really want to make Marvel versus DC fighting game. It's overdue now, man. It's overdue. But anyway, NetherRealms Ed Boon poll gamers on Twitter and asked them what projects they'd like to see next, and most players want a new Marvel vs. DC. We know NetherRealms said they're not working on Injustice 3, and in just their next game now, it has to be a Marvel vs. DC. It just has to, and you go on from there, you know, because you've done so many Mortal Kombat games, you've done Injustice, and with DC characters and Mortal Kombat characters included, and both games are pretty good. But now a Marvel versus DC needs to happen. And to me, when Ed Boon gave this poll, it's like they were already working on Marvel versus DC, but he asked the question to make it look like he ain't working on it. But anyway, it says here, NetherRealms Ed Boon just ran a poll asking gamers what they want to see. After the winning answer is very interesting. Oh, by the way, this article has some screensavers on it. You could use it on your computer or whatever. Anyway, let me keep going here. It says here, since Mortal Kombat 11 released in 2019, NetherRealm has been steadily working on its next project. Many have speculated what it will be, possibly Injustice 3, Mortal Kombat 12, or something new. NetherRealm isn't ready to say just yet, and they did a funny MK12 leak spoof back in January, but head honcho Ed Boon isn't afraid to ask what fans are hoping to see. They're working on this game. I got a feeling Marvel vs. DC is coming. But anyway, the poll had 4 responses. Injustice 3, a Marvel game, Marvel vs. DC, and the next Mortal Kombat. The most popular answer is a Marvel vs. DC fighting game with a 35.4% of votes, which represent about 18,854 people voted. This is pretty interesting and could change up the framework quite a bit. We've seen Capcom do excellent work with Marvel fighting games, and NetherRealm's Injustice duo of games has made stellar work of DC franchise. But it says right now, Disney and Marvel are making significant investment in gaming, greenlighting a plethora of free-to-play mobile and premium game across a wide spectrum. Midnight Sun, the new Captain America x Black Panther game, EA reportedly Iron Man Games. I can think of a better way to immortalize the Marvel brand to let NetherRealm tackle it. However, they may not be what interested in helping competing comic properties. And it says here, in any case, there is evidence that Mortal Kombat 12 will be NetherRealm's latest game. Back in July 2021, NetherRealm confirmed its next game was entering in production. Back during that time, we reported that NetherRealm job listing strongly suggests MK12 was the next title. The company has been hiring senior gameplay software engineer to work as part of the programming team behind Mortal Kombat franchise. And then it says, what's also interesting is that NetherRealm has been hiring for roles to help its aggressive push into mobile gaming. Warner Brothers Discovery recently confirmed that WB Games would not be sold and that its properties and games are doing quite well so far. Multiverse, the new F2P battler that takes cues from Super Smash Bros. Has amassed 20 million players since launch. Lego Star Wars is also doing exceptionally well. And that's the end of the article. So, will there be a Marvel versus DC? I believe so, because you wouldn't put out a poll if you didn't know you weren't working on a game. But since you put it out there, you wanted to see what the feedback was going to be and what the response was going to be. A Marvel versus DC fighting game, and I believe, me personally, I think that's what they're probably working on. If it's another Mortal Kombat game, it's like, we got so many Mortal Kombats right now to deal with. We don't need that right now. We might need another Injustice, or we might need a Marvel vs. DC. But a Mortal Kombat, we can go a year without a Mortal Kombat game, or 2 at max, you know. But a Marvel vs. DC would do the trick. Another Injustice game, that means you would have to put more DC superheroes and villains in the roster. The roster probably would have to be like have a player count of like, say, like between like 35 or 50 playable characters. But a Marvel versus DC would be the best game to release right now from NetherRealm Studios. So this, when they took that poll, to me it looked like they were already working on the game, but they want to see what the feedback was going to be, or what the response was going to be to help them continue working on the game that they're working on. So when that time comes, we will definitely know. But on Marvel versus DC, it's overdue. Can't talk about it no more. Because all talking. Talk. You can only talk so much. You can only talk so much for so long before something takes place. So they just need to go ahead and just go ahead and make this game now. Because Capcom made a Marvel vs. Capcom, right? But Capcom never took it and made a Marvel. Capcom didn't do a Marvel versus DC. But now that I think the contract is up with Marvel and Capcom, it's DC's turn now to enter the spotlight, enter the take the grab the bull by the horn and just move forward. Because you can't talk about a Marvel versus DC now. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. And that'll probably take the studio to new heights. And of course, you can't just have the same regular. If they're gonna do a Marvel versus DC, then the character count has to be like, I would say 50 superheroes per side, 50 from Marvel, 50 from DC, or 30 between 30 and 20, between 30 characters for DC, 30 characters for Marvel, and then go on from there. But they really need to do this. They can't be talking about it anymore. Rumors don't mean anything anymore when it comes to Marvel versus DC. Speculation don't mean anything anymore. They got to do it now, and move forward, because you made so many Mortal Kombats already, right? We already seen Mortal Kombat. You made 2 Injustice, but you say you're not making it. There was news of there will be no Injustice 3, so it has to be now a Marvel versus DC right now. It has to be, and go on from there, because talking it really don't mean anything anymore. Rumors and hype and excitement. It's got to be done. It's got to be done now. It's got to be done. That's my take on the whole thing now. They got to do it now. They can't play around with this. They can't. NetherRealm Studios can't play around with this anymore. They got to do it now. Because talk is cheap now. It's like it's got to happen. Just like when they have to surprise us with it, like how Arc System did Dragon Ball Z Fighters. We didn't see Dragon Ball Z Fighters coming. I didn't until Xbox. I think it was Xbox Showcase when I think Phil Spencer showed Dragon Ball Z Fighters, and then that game took off. So they're gonna have to do it like that. But Marvel versus DC now, it's overdue now. And rumors, speculation don't mean anything anymore. There's so many fighting games there's so many fighting games that's out there, from the Super Nintendo era, the Neo Geo era, the Sega Genesis era, on up. We've seen Dragon Ball's fighting games. We have seen them, and now they made a 2D side-scrolling, Dragon Ball Z fighting games. So, Marvel vs. DC is overdue now. That's the fighting game that everybody wants now. Okay, we've already seen Tekken, Dead or Alive, Virtual Fighter, Soul Calibur. We've seen a lot of fighting games, but a Marvel vs. DC now, it's overdue. So, NetherRealm Studios, they got to do it, and they got to surprise us like how they have to do it now. They can't talk about it no more. There's all this you took the you created the hype, you created You created the hype, and now you're taking a poll. So when you put that poll out there, that means you are working on the game. You just want to see what the response is going to be. So it needs to happen. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars and Star Trek 9.